In the middle of the night, a childless couple hears a kid crying from the attic of their house. A childless couple discovers a wailing youngster in their attic during the dead of night. When a married couple hears a child sobbing somewhere in their house at midnight, they decide to break up. The woman refused to let the child go, even though the guy wanted to. After 10 years of marriage, Oliver Robinson and his wife Mary had not been able to have a child for whatever reason. They needed to consult a doctor to determine the cause of their stunted sexual lives and hectic schedules, despite the fact that anybody might have suggested that. When last did you spend a full weekend at home, Oliver? After a checkup, Dr. Ben Ross questioned him. I did spend a whole Saturday there last month, Oliver said. How about this month? Insisted the doctor. Mary harshly interrupted, saying, he can't answer that because he's been away most of the time. Mary, Oliver screamed. You know all I do is for us, for our coming kids, that won't happen until you spend enough nights at home. The old doctor intervened to break up their argument before it got out of control. Although he had known Mary since she was a small kid, the elderly guy had been their family physician after they were married. Oliver was too consumed with his growing business to see how much the ongoing stress of contemporary life was impeding them both, even though he had always warned them both about this. He was one of those individuals who thought presents were a good enough replacement for being there. Why don't you people spend a while living outside of the city? You guys may unwind there with ease because the air is pure. You'll benefit from it, Dr. Ross said. Well, maybe we will take that course of action. Mary here owns her brand, so she's allowed to take a break, and I can take a few days off as well. I'm grateful, doctor. Oliver was really excited at the prospect of changing surroundings, and Mary felt the same way, leading to the two of them beginning to organize their move. I'll finally have him all to myself, Mary said to her friend Jennifer via FaceTime. We can get a garden and a small farm, and I can get started on that gardening blog I always dreamed of starting, Mary said. They moved fast to find a suitable home with a large enough backyard for the farm and garden. They agreed to it because it fit their budget as well. Oliver and Mary cherished their time on the farm and cherished the location. They were in bed much of the first few blissful days, rekindling their affection for one another. Still, there was no conception in all of that. Oliver returned to work after a month, but this time he vanished for days at a time, leaving early in the morning and coming back late on the days he opted to stay home and sleep. He excused himself by stating he was working on a significant deal that may significantly increase their prospective spending capacity when Mary challenged him about it. She couldn't disagree with that, but she also couldn't get used to spending her days by herself in their rural house, listening to the howling wind and the creak of footfall on the stairwells. Mary just put the step's persistence down to her paranoia and anxiety of being by herself in the large home. Her spouse was in bed with her one night, the first of that month. When Mary heard the creaks once again, she brought them out to her husband, who simply wrote them off as part of the manuscript. He questioned her. Have you been watching horror movies again? Not at all, my dear. With me virtually living here alone now, I wouldn't dare do that here, she stated in a harsh tone. With a sigh, Oliver answered, We've talked about this, Mary? Thereby putting a stop to the fight before it really got started. A wail sounded, stunning both of them in the hush that hovered between them. Did you hear that? Oliver nodded when Mary asked. After a little while, they heard the cry once more, which prompted them to act. Grasping flashlights with both hands, they set out to find the source of the weeping. After tracing it to the attic, Oliver balked about going upstairs, so Mary went in his place. She found a little child sobbing in a dim nook within. She went up to the girl when she had calmed down. She shouted out, Hello, what is your name? But the girl would not stop sobbing. Mary continued to approach her gently, holding out hope that she wasn't in a gruesome horror film. The girl stopped weeping when she was a few steps away from her, and she looked up at Mary with the most brilliant blue eyes Mary had ever seen. After speaking with the child, she learned that she was the daughter of the house's previous owner, who was still a resident of the area, and she promptly went to comfort her. The girl knew how to get into their attic by climbing the tree next to it, so she had turned it as her hiding place. When she and her father argued, it was generally because she didn't receive what she really wanted, and she would frequently retreat there. Oliver was astonished when Mary walked down with the girl, but his disbelief was soon covered up by rage as he accused Mary of spoiling the weird youngster. She's probably a thief who got stuck in the house and had no way out, Oliver stated. Kick her out now. Oliver, I won't act in such a manner. We are discussing a child here, not a stray cat. Mary screamed. Oliver packed his belongings and went back to their city flat that evening because he was so enraged that she would not throw the girl out. Mary took the girl to her father the next morning. Oliver had sent her a note as she was traveling back. He asked for a divorce because he wanted to be with a woman who could bear him children, and he admitted to cheating on her in it. He subsequently moved into their city flat and recruited another lady to live in Mary's place. Although Mary was going through a difficult time, the small kindness she performed for the young girl paid out in ways she could never have predicted. The girl's father turned out to be a young man who went viral, only a few years her senior, and they clicked right away on their first conversation. After assisting her in letting go of her connection with Oliver, they quickly began dating and eventually got married. Mary then adopted his daughter. After relocating to a different location to raise their family, Mary became pregnant with their son a few months later. She gave birth to a healthy son after 9 months. Oliver's mistress, meantime, was furious with him for not being able to have a child with her. She eventually broke up with him for the same reason, leaving him feeling abandoned and sorry for what he had done to Mary in the past. He went looking for her, hoping that she would still be waiting for him at the rural house, but she was gone, and all he discovered in place of the house was a building site. The laborers informed him that a new house was being built and that the old one had been purchased. Oliver was desperate and asked his neighbors if they knew where his ex-wife was, but most of them had no idea. All they could say to him was that after their divorce, she had moved on and her life had evolved. What lessons may we draw from this tale? You are not meant to be with everyone you love. Oliver cheated on Mary and lied to her during their marriage since she wasn't the proper fit for him, even though she still loved him. Thank goodness, he called it quits on the relationship, allowing Mary to go on and effectively saving her from a life of misery. Oliver discovered the hard way that mistakes have repercussions. He had the option to stop acting badly and dedicate himself to his wife, but he decided not to, and as a result, he lost her. She had gone on to greater things by the time he came to his senses,